Okay, so just wanted to encourage you guys that you got this. Just please make sure that you're doing the homework, and please also remember that we have a quiz on Wednesday, and make sure that you're actually doing the homework and studying. When you're doing the videos, try to do as much of it on your own as possible and not just copy, okay? All right, so the homework is to do numbers 4, 6, 9, 19, and 22. Let's go to number 4. Now this says, let's look at the direction. This says graph the image of the figure using the transformation given. So we need to graph the image. Okay, so this is the given. And it's telling us the transformation is to translate 3 units right and 6 units down. Okay, so we're going to take our pencil. Now remember, if we do K, W, W, S, D, right? K stands for what do you know? W stands for what do you want to know? The second W is what is the question asking? Sorry, I'm going to let it focus. And S means strategies used, and then D means defend your solution. So what do we know? Well, we've got a coordinate grid. So we've got a coordinate plane. That'll help us count. We got a triangle, okay, which is the pre-image, right? So what do you want to know? We'll skip that. What does the question ask? It says to graph the image after, oh, by the way, what else do we know? We're going to have to use a translation. Graph the image after the translation. So what strategy are we going to use? Well, what we're going to use is we're going to count with our pencil. Okay, and we'll defend later. Okay, so let's see here. This is telling you to move every single point 3 units right and then 6 units down. Okay, so for now, we're not going to concern ourselves with defending the solution, but we're going to count with our pencil and then connect the dots, connect the points afterwards. Okay, so we're going to count, so you can choose any 3 points. Since it's a triangle, we're going to translate all 3 and then connect later. So let's say I decide to start with the bottom one. I'm going to go from here, I put my pencil on L. Then as soon as I move, that's 1, 2, 3 units to the right, but that's not enough. I gotta now go 6 units down. So I gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be labeled as L prime. Alright, so that one's done, but I need to translate 2 more. So let's put my pencil, you can choose, let's say I decide to go with J. I'm going to go 3 units to the right, so this is 0, and then 1, 2, 3, and then go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. J prime. Okay, so then now we're going to take the K and then move it 3 to the right, translate it, 1, 2, 3, then go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's say you didn't do all of these correctly, then your triangles will not look the exact same, or they will not have translated properly. So when I take this triangle, which is my pre-image, J, K, and L, and I go 3 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then I go down 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they should match up perfectly. Okay, J goes with J prime, K with K prime, and L with L prime, and they should be the same size. If the size, if like one of the points is off somewhere, you'll see it, but translation should always be rigid. So we did this one correctly, and now we're done. So number 4 is done, because what did the question ask you to find? It said graph the image after translation. Well, that's exactly what we did. Okay, let's move on to number 3, or number 6. This one simply says to translate it 3 units up. So let's see, K, W, W, S, D. Okay, I see we've got the coordinate plane, which is going to help me count. I've got a triangle. I know I'm going to have to translate. Well, I guess that would be what they're asking you to do. But I know what a translation is, so we'll write that in. What do you want to know? Students typically say the answer. Okay, what is the question asking you to find? It's telling you to translate or show the graph after you translate 3 units up. Okay? So we want the graph. It says to graph the image, so I'll come back to that. Now, guys, you don't have to write what I'm doing here, but it's a good idea when you get stuck to write this for yourself so you can kind of process through your thoughts of what's being asked of you. And then strategy, I'm going to count, and then I'll connect. Okay, and right now we won't worry about defense. Okay. Yeah, for now we won't worry about defense. So then let's go ahead and say, well, you're going to choose one, you're going to have to do it to all 3 points. So we'll do it for one. So let's say I start with S, and literally it says just go 3 units up. So I go 1, 2, 3, and that's all I do. And I write S prime. Then I go to T, and I go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's a little weird. It ends up on the pre-image, which it's okay. T prime, and then this one goes up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now just pause with me. What if I made a mistake? I want to show you what happens. Let's say, so you can just look at this without actually doing it, but let's say you were like, oh, I'm not going to count the axis, so I'm just going to go up. This was like 1, 2, 3, okay? And let's say you accidentally put R prime there. Now watch what happens when you connect it. If I connect these, that triangle is not looking quite congruent. So let's see. If this was the pre-image, okay, and we have R, T, S, and if I were to slide it up 3 units, 1, 1, 2, 3, it looks like the S and the S prime match up, the T, but the R's don't. So that's where you know, okay, this is not the correct shape. So this one went too far, which means you go 1, 2, 3, and the R prime should be here, not that far up. And now they look better. They look like they're exactly the same shape and the same size. So this is the correct answer. All right, now let's go to number 9. Oh, what does that say here? Okay, it's still part of the same directions. Use the graph the image. So here's the translation. Now this is the rule. This is your pre-image and this is your image. Well, what is this telling you to do? The x plus 2 is telling you to go right 2. The y minus 3 is telling you to go down 3. So where is that point? Oh, there it is. Here's my pre-image. So I'm going to go right 2 with it, 1, 2, and then down 3, 1, 2, 3. And since that was the only thing I had to translate, I'm done. And that's it for number 9. What was this last one? Or 19 and 20. So I'm going to flip over again. Let's go to number 19. Okay, so number 19, the directions for that is back here. It says write a rule to describe each transformation. Okay, so number 19. So let's do this. We have K, W, W, S, D. What do we know? We've got 2 figures. Okay? In fact, we have a pre-image and we have an image. Okay, I see the pre-image is here and the image is here. Okay? All right, now, what else do we know? We know that there was a translation that took place. Okay? And let's see, what's the question asking? The question wants the rule for how it happened. What's the strategy? I know my strategy is that it's always going to start like this, x comma y with the arrow. And then you're going to have an x, and then maybe something after that, comma, and then a y, and then maybe something after that, and then close. For now, we won't worry about defending. Okay, so now, what other strategy can I use? That's one strategy, and the other strategy is to count. I'm going to use 1 point. So you can pick any of these points. All right? It's pre-image and it's image. So what in the world does that mean? Okay. So let's say you're like, oh wait, here's my pre-image and here's my image. So literally what that means is this is where we start. Okay, this is H, then G, then I, then J, and it slides up to this image. So they're congruent. They're the same shape and size. So how far did it go? Well, I can tell that it went to the right, but how far to the right and then how far up? So look at a pre-image and its image point, because each pre-image and an image point goes the same distance. So pick one. Let's say you want to go from H to H prime, you can do that. G to G prime, you can do that. I to I prime, same. J to J prime, fine. Okay, so I'm going to choose H and H prime. This is my technique. I'm going to use one point, pre-image and image. So here's my pre-image, okay? Now, how far did it go? So let's say it went up and then to the right, okay? So then I'm going to count up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went up 4, and then turning the corner, 1, 2, 3. So then it went right 3. I'm going to write RT for right. So now let me write a rule. So the rule is x comma y, that doesn't change, parentheses, arrow. Now, which one represents x movement? Okay, it's the one that goes right and left. So it went right 3, right means positive, so put plus 3, comma, then y. What's the y doing? It's going up 4, well, what's up? It's plus. And then close the parentheses, and that's my answer, because it asks, what is the question asking? It's asking for the rule. Okay, and last but not least, number 22. Okay, this one says find the coordinates of the vertices of each figure after the given transformation. Okay, all right. Sorry about the announcements.
Good afternoon, Sweetwater Middle School.
Okay, I'll upload the second video for number 22 next.